Hi, you found The Woman Condemned, where we talk about all things female, good, bad, and ugly. Today we're going to review an Olay facial regime they sent me to talk about. And then I thought we'd kill two birds with one stone and talk about this letter I got from Morgan Smith from Florida, who we've been talking about on the blog. So welcome. The first thing they've given me to try is this Daily Facials grapeseed extract facial wash. It's just like a little wipey, handy wipey. It says 5-in-1 cleaning power of a makeup remover, scrub, toner, mask, and cleanser. And good deal because I got last night's mascara on. So, we'll get it wet and give it a shot, right? We got this letter from Morgan. She has been on the blog several times. If you recall, she is the woman who was a sex slave for a man named Daryl Smith for several years, and they had a child together. She changed her last name to his, and he really didn't want nothing to do with her, ended up leaving her. And long story short, he left her for another woman. And Morgan killed the new woman. This thing smells good. It's really soft. She shot her in the stomach outside of a party. So, those are nice. Tough, too. The next thing they gave me was the Deep Hydrating Gel for tired, dehydrated eyes. Bam. I like Olay. This stuff always works good, especially for a million-year-old woman like me. It helps. And I got dark circles worse than I got puffy eyes, but it's actually like 3 o'clock in the morning right now, so I'm allowed to have puffy eyes. I'll put it around the eye. It's going to make me look 25 again. I'll be the hottest true crime blogger around. Okay, while that's sitting in, here's the letter from her. I was just going to mention a few things that we talked about on the blog. First off, I thought it was funny. I got it mentioned here. We talked before about how Kimberly McCarthy talks about Darlie Routier as a big bully in prison and doesn't let her watch TV when she wants to. And this one, this is a Florida prison. She asked me about my Christmas, and she says, I was a bit enthusiastic here starting on Thanksgiving, but that gradually tended to wore down, at least at this facility, because there's this little clique of thugs that controls what everyone gets to watch on TV. So we didn't get to watch any Christmas specials. At home, I'm like a big goofy kid with my kids, watching all the specials like Rudolph and the Grinch, baking cookies. We have fun doing that stuff. So, I suppose we take from that, there's TV thugs in every prison. Then I thought this was interesting, because I had asked her, I had saw the Deadly Women episode on her, and I asked her about it. She said she has never seen the Deadly Women episode, but she heard of an A&E show about her, and she said, I did see the A&E show where they interviewed my daughter, Ashley. That was under my maiden name, Morgan Hughes. I asked them not to use my real name, as my youngest was still in school, so instead they chose a name even more people know me by. The A&E one actually looks much more accurate than the Deadly Woman. The guy they hired to act as Daryl looks exactly like him. The guy in the Deadly Woman episode looks nothing like him. I don't even know who William Phelps is. He did not talk to me. He has not contacted me. I don't know who he is. The only contact that show had with me was that they sent me a letter asking if I was interested in participating, and I remember the person who wrote it mentioning some forensic psychologist's name and saying that being on the show really helped a lot of prisoners, but they all say that, ha ha ha. And then the last thing that I thought was pretty interesting is I asked her how she met Daryl, who was her master. And the last thing Olay sent me was this Regenerist Whips Light as Air finish. This eyeball stuff, it tingles. Deep hydrating eye gel for tired, dehydrated eyes. It's very tingly. But I do see a little bit of the puff gone. Who'd have thunk it, right? And this Olay Whips goes on everywhere. And it is a day cream to go over smooth over clean face. So that is definitely happening. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Smells again. It is very light. So anyways, that's that. That's from Olay. And then here's how she met Daryl. She says, okay, you asked me how I met Daryl. I think the shows leave it out because there's no reference to it in court. I think he testifies we met at a bar, so I know the A&E show has that. I actually used to be an exotic dancer in my 20s. I started doing it because my first husband never wanted to work, and when he did work, he'd blow the money on subwoofers, flowers for his previous mother, and really stupid shit like that. And electric tie racks. I kid you not. Oh yeah, he stole my credit card number for the last 2 things, too. When we got divorced, I continued dancing because he never paid child support, and I had Ashley to care for. So that's where I was working when Daryl entered the picture. He was a coke dealer for the owner of the club. I really know how to pick 'em, huh? He was also friends with 2 DJs at that club, Club International in New Haven, Connecticut. It's under a different name ownership now. This was in the 1996 era. They were like brothers to me. Unfortunately, Jody is deceased, but Mark is, who I also eventually met my good ex-husband Dan through, the one who raised Tori, who is my daughter with Daryl. Yes, it's a soap opera, ha ha ha. So I remember being on stage that first night, which happened to be my first night at that particular club, and it ended up being my favorite, though not the most lucrative. And Daryl was at the bar watching me and smiling. My first impression was, who is this weirdo, ha ha ha. The A&E show, by the way, shows me as a bartender, I guess because I didn't want my kids to know I was a dancer. But my stupid ex, Ashley's dad, told her anyway. A&E was pretty good about complying with my wishes. I wrote them a huge letter explaining my side of the story after I was advised not to actually participate in the show. Anyway, when I got off stage, I sat at the bar. That's the only other thing about the A&E show. Every other scene they show the actress playing me with a bottle in her hand, and Dan's character says, "Stop drinking." I hardly drink at all, in fact. Sometimes wine with dinner, or I drink when I go out, but nowhere even close to the raging alcoholic A&E makes me out to be, haha. Well, sorry I got off topic. So I'm at the bar. Daryl sits next to me and says, "Nice tattoo." I have a tat of barbed wire around my left wrist, and he has barbed wire around his bicep. So we started talking. We both like the same kind of music, punk rock, goth, and that was that. So then she goes on to tell me about a party and some other stuff that happened that night when she met him, but now we know. So anyways, now I want to thank you all for stopping by The Woman Condemned. We have beautiful skin and higher knowledge.